What do you consider to be your most professional triumph, Shelly? And again, it could be more than one and maybe even personal.
My most triumph was the creation of the Kentucky Quilt Project. Because I like to work with marginalized groups of people, marginalized communities, and quilts felt to me like they were marginalized. The first time I saw quilts, I said, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. These are great works of art. They're really cheap. I was at an event to buy and sell quilts. And why are they anonymous? And so when we started the Kentucky Quilt Project, my main partner in crime for that whole event and all that experience was Eleanor Bingham. And we went all over the state documenting quilts. Well, it became a national phenomenon. At this point, there are over more than 200,000 quilts documented. Wow. As a result of not our efforts, but as a result of how this project caught fire. So I feel like we were really responsible for families and for the general community at large to validate quilts and the women who made them. And that made it possible for me also to think about Kentucky. And Kentucky, it's all about the stories. When I had the opportunity to bring my interest in the stories and marginalized communities to Kentucky, that is how the beginning of the Kentucky to the World started.
Oh, okay.
You see, so I will tell you my one short story.
Sure.
Our daughter is a national security guru, and she was doing a talk for the Pacific Council on Foreign Relations in San Diego about 6 years ago. And I got a call at the end of the evening, and she said, Mom, you're never going to believe what happened. The first Q&A, an African-American man stands up, and he says, Amy Zegart, I grew up a block from your grandfather's drugstore at 7th and Oak.
Huh.
Wow. It gave me goosebumps.
Sure.
Because they could have been talking about each other's accomplishments. His name was Rick Smith. He passed away recently. He was a graduate of Atherton, class of '69.
That's where I went.
Okay, and
few years
he was
later,
one of the most recognized international amnesty attorneys, and he taught at USC. So the fact that his connection to her was going to be around Louisville, around place. So that stuck in my head because things always stick in my head, and I'm always looking outside the box for new opportunities. About 2 years later, then she moved her tenured position to Stanford, and she does a nuclear arms role play with her students. Can you believe? That's several days, and one of her colleagues said, I have the perfect person to facilitate this role play. And so they walked into the room 6 months later, didn't know each other. At 5 minutes, they're talking Derby. And it turns out that it's Ambassador Tom Graham. And he basically negotiated every nuclear arms treaty in the last 25 years. Well, my antennas went up.
Sure.
Here comes another Shelly moment, right? We need to focus on these people. We need to do something to let Kentucky be known by these amazing people that claim Kentucky. And that's how basically the genesis started for Kentucky to the World.